Through its Global Gateway initiative and in a trust to move away from the traditional method of offering grants and loans, the European Union is seeking to continue its support to Caribbean Community CARICOM countries in a more sustainable manner that supports connections and work for people and the planet. Head of the European Union delegation to Guyana, Ambassador René Van Ness, on Thursday said Guyana is included in the global initiative and will continue to benefit in the areas of forest and sea defense. And so, after roughly 10 years of concentrated support for Guyana's forests, the EU is expanding its funding to health projects in the country. The ambassador said that support in the health sector will start with helping the country develop a regulatory framework for the manufacturing of pharmaceuticals here. Work has begun in this regard, even as the EU delegation is in talks with Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony to identify other areas of priority.
And the new way of working is actually a way that fits very well with Guyana, because this new way is not the traditional way where we would identify a project and fund that project. But in this new way of working, we will use our grant money. So it's not a loan that we provide, it is a grant. We will use that money to pave the way for private sector investments. So the word that we then often use is we leverage with our resources private sector investments and investments from the international financial institutions like the European Investment Bank or the IDB or the World Bank. So we're actually doing it already here in Guyana.
Van Ness said, however, that while the old way of identifying and funding projects have not been completely abandoned, the new Global Gateway initiative is working for the EU and is here to stay.
Because with that new way of thinking, this global gateway, it is not so much looking only at your pot of money and then decide, okay, I have 20 million available, I will allocate 17 to this and I will allocate 3 to that. There's still a little bit of that. But it is more a shift of focus, right? And to say, well, we actually see here a real potential in this sector. And we think we can do something together here that really makes sense, where the EU and Guyana can work together in this way that we can add value to what is happening in the health sector.
And so, he called for greater understanding of this new style of support that rejects the handout ideal but will work to develop connectivity and frameworks to attract larger private sector and other international investment. The focus is on infrastructure, renewable energy, digital technology, health, and water programs. For the newsroom, Kurt Campbell.